even though 1 in every 250 people worldwide might have Asperger syndrome, according to recent studies. And one of the richest men in the world publicly declared he has Asperger's. Asperger syndrome continues to be one of the medical mysteries of our time. It can be the kind of diagnosis that you might not want to admit to a stranger at a party. Things get even more complicated when you can't even explain how it occurs. We are First Choice Family Services, and in this video, we'll be showing you what Asperger syndrome is and the latest medical discoveries about what might cause it. As always, if you find this content valuable, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. What's Asperger syndrome? Before anything else, you need to understand that Asperger's has a solid hereditary background, but it's more complicated than that. So, to understand it correctly, let's define Asperger's.
Asperger syndrome is not a learning disability, and it has features of autism spectrum disorder, nonverbal learning disabilities, and ADHD.
As Dr. Sheldon Horowitz said, Asperger syndrome, AS, also is not a learning disability. It is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by significant difficulties in social interaction and nonverbal communication, along with restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior and interests. In 2015, Asperger's was estimated to affect 37.2 million people globally, more or less the Canadian population. Another interesting thing about Asperger's is that it is diagnosed in males more often than females, and females are typically diagnosed at a later age. The syndrome is named after the Austrian pediatrician Hans Asperger, who in 1944 described children in his care who struggled to form friendships, did not understand others' gestures or feelings, engaged in one-sided conversations about their favorite interests, and were kind of clumsy. What causes Asperger syndrome? Now comes an interesting part where you discover exactly what causes Asperger's in the first place to explain to those friends at a party. Well, I think you may be disappointed to discover that the exact cause of Asperger's is unknown. Yes, unknown. Now, while the condition is primarily inherited, the underlying genetics, in other words, the exact genomes, have not been determined conclusively. That means that if you ask a doctor if your child is going to have Asperger's, his answer will probably be evasive or something like, I don't know.
Our understanding of the causes of Asperger syndrome and autism spectrum disorders is growing, but we don't fully understand why some children develop these disorders and others don't.
The diagnosis is so nuanced that in 2013, it was removed from the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5 for short, to be included within the autism spectrum disorder. So basically, before 2013, a person with Asperger's wasn't considered autistic like they are today. As you probably imagine by now, since causes are still unknown, there is no single treatment for Asperger's yet, and only limited data support the effectiveness of particular interventions. On the other hand, treatment aims to lower obsessive or repetitive routines and improve communication skills and physical clumsiness. Interventions may include social skills training, cognitive behavioral therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, training for parents, and medications for associated problems, such as mood or anxiety. Social and communication difficulties usually persist in patients as they grow up, but most people improve their behaviors with support. Direct support professionals advocate for a shift in clinical and social attitudes toward the view that autism spectrum disorder is a difference rather than a disease that must be treated or cured. This understanding makes direct support professionals a powerful resource to help those affected cope with Asperger's and autism. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Remember, First Choice Family Services is your information resource for the DSP industry. So like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay connected.